Hats off for solid effort. Manchester United definitely outplayed Arsenal. They were the better team. They created the better chances. Dogu hit the post, and Arsenal scored via a mistake. A set piece, Bayinda with a disastrous mistake on his line. I think he had to be stronger there. Calafiori tucked it in, but for Arsenal, they don't care. They get the 3 points, and it's on to the next one. But I should say, Cunha was the best player on the field for Manchester United. Cunha was a breath of fresh air. There's a time where he turned Ben White, and Ben White was just chasing him and couldn't even get him. And he ended up, I don't know if he tore his hamstring or what, or got cramps, but he had to be subbed after Cunha ripped him apart, basically. So, what a game by Cunha. He looks like he's going to be the creative spark for Manchester United this season, which might be some pressure lifted off Bruno's shoulders, because he literally carries that whole creativity for Manchester United. And now he has some help. Burma as well, I loved his effort. He's running, he's trying, he's relentless, trying to get at the end of things, trying to make runs off the ball. The only thing is, I think Cunha and Mbomo both lack blistering pace. They don't have blistering pace. I just think that's the only thing that's missing in their games. But obviously, we know that they can score between them. They scored like 35 Premier League goals last season. So then they're there. The goals are there. The goals are there. They're in them. They just need to bring them to Manchester United. Sofascore came on. I don't think he had enough time to make an impact. His hold-up play was good. But I do think that maybe it might be, again, a problem for United strikers, where we are asking about the service. Will they get good quality service? If they do, I think Sofascore will be okay. Because like I said, Cunha looks like a creative spark, right? So Bruno, Cunha on their game, they can probably deliver something, so we can see what Sofascore is made of. I do think the changes by Ruben Amorim were good, except Ugarte, who was terrible after he came onto the field. He was just really, really bad. I was not impressed by him at all. Ahmad was great, though. Ahmad was great. I think he could have taken on Noni Madueke a lot more, because he found himself, weirdly enough, one-on-one with Madueke, and Madueke is not good at defending. You just breeze past him. He just needs to take on the defenders more, especially one-on-one, because he can beat them and then try to create something, have that quality, better end product. And I think Manchester United might be in business. I am expecting an improved season from Man United. I did predict that they will have an improved season. In defense, they were not tested too much today, but it stood firm. It stood very firm, because, like I said, they didn't really concede too many chances to Arsenal anyway. Fans can be hopeful. There's some positives to take from that game. Next game is against Fulham away. It's not going to be easy, but if United give the same sort of effort, the same sort of playing with your heart, playing like you want to win the game, playing to score, I do think that maybe you will get something the next game, right? So not bad, not a bad start from Manchester United. Unfortunately, it is a loss, but at least you don't mind those type of losses when you know your team gave absolutely everything. Like I said, hats off for solid effort. They did put in some good work. They tried. They left it all on the pitch. It wasn't to be, and we try again next time, right? It is as simple as that. That's the simple message from Manchester United and their fans. For Arsenal, the most important thing is the 3 points. You're going to have games this season where you are not on it, you are not on song, but you need to be able to grind a result, and they've done that. That is what champions do. Arsenal's best asset is their defense, and they used it to great effect today, right? Saliba, Gabriel, it was not smooth, but they get away with it. They secure the clean sheet, and that secures them the 3 points. Arsenal are going to need goals, though. In another game where you're playing against Manchester City, or maybe you're playing against Liverpool and you're up 1-0, it won't fly. That type of performance won't fly, because the other team will definitely score. A better team than Manchester United, and we know that there were loads of better teams last season based on last season. Loads of other teams can actually punish Arsenal for that type of performance, right? It is important to get a result. Like I said, 3 points, first game of the season, legs are rusty. There's fitness questions, fatigue. Of course, we get that. We understand that. That's why you can let this performance slide, focus on the result. Players need to improve. Odegaard's decision-making in the final third, after getting in good positions, has to improve. A better ball in for Saka or Martinelli, then I think Arsenal would have gotten a chance at a second goal, because he just couldn't give the final killer through ball. And I do think he needs a very, very different season from the last. He was very ineffective in the last season. The previous season before that, I think he had 15 goals that season. That was so impressive for him. He had 15 goals, couple of assists. He needs to have that type of season again for Arsenal to challenge for the title, because we know that already Arsenal don't have someone who scores 20 goals in their squad. Is that going to be Gyökeres? Maybe. But Arsenal don't have that. So he needs to chip in with his own goals or create for Saka or Martinelli, right? So Odegaard needs an improved performance. I was not happy with his performance, but he was the only one that looked like he could create anything from Arsenal. The rest were bad. Saka did not have a good game. Very ineffective. He was well marshaled. Tightly marked between De Ligt and Dogu. He was ineffective today. Saka was pocketed, right? Gyökeres had a stinker. Gyökeres, I think that is one of the worst debuts I've seen from a player. Yes, he's new. It is his first game. It is the Premier League. It's a different level from the Portuguese league. It is against Manchester United away. Lots of pressure, price tag. I get that. But he did not do anything right. And that was shocking for me. And he genuinely looked like he couldn't run. I don't understand what was going on. He looked like his legs were heavy. He was playing like he was wearing jeans. He was playing like he was wearing Timberlands. That was a very, very bad debut performance from him. I'm not saying that he'll turn out to be a bad player. We've seen bad debuts from Caicedo, if you remember that, from Chelsea. But he's come back to be one of Chelsea's best players. So he can definitely come back. But I'm just saying, that goes into the Hall of Fame of stinkers. Let's see him next week home against Leeds. Martinelli has to improve. I think he was also not giving Arsenal anything on the left wing. I think Noni Madueke might think he has a genuine chance of being a starter for Arsenal, because if you're looking at Trossard or Martinelli, then he thinks that maybe I'm better than both of those players. He just needs also to be consistent, right? We know that Arteta takes players and he tries to bring the best out of them. Arteta thinks I can save them, like Havertz. He said I could save him, and he did. There's a time where Havertz was just banging and banging and banging, and now he's been injured for a while. However, Arteta did bring out the best in him, right? We know that he wanted to do that with Sterling. That didn't work. We know at some point he was being linked to Marcus Rashford. That didn't happen, but now he's gone for Noni Madueke, who also started disappointing for Chelsea, and Arteta thinks he could save him. So I think there is talent there for Madueke. Give him a chance. Let's see how he performs, right? So overall, not a good performance by Arsenal at all. Take the points and run. It's kind of a steal. It's a steal. They've punished Manchester United's mistakes, and they get the 3 points and start the season off with the win. There was a possible penalty for Manchester United. I think Cunha, the tackle by Saliba, it turned out to be a block, but the tackle, he actually tackles Cunha in the box. He doesn't get the ball there, but it was checked and the penalty was not given. And I thought perhaps Man United have a case, because he literally threw himself to the ground. He gets Cunha first. So actually, Manchester United did have I actually thought Manchester United did have a genuine shout for a penalty there, but it wasn't given. But the game ends 1-0 to Arsenal, and we move on. Chelsea drew 0-0 to Crystal Palace, and they were pretty flat, to be fair, right? Crystal Palace actually could have won that game. Eze's free kick goal was disallowed for Guehi pushing into the wall. Now, it is factual. It's a foul. The laws were amended so that the players or the opposing team should not be anywhere near the wall. So not 1 meter within the wall until the ball is kicked. And Guehi clearly disturbs and comes into the wall, barges into the Chelsea wall, even before Eze takes the free kick. So the goal is rightfully disallowed under the rules. I don't think anyone has a problem to complain about there. It shouldn't be allowed, right? But Palace were robbed a penalty. Sanchez came out to punch the ball. He doesn't get it. He punches Guehi in the head. That should have been a penalty, because those type of penalties were given last season. So I don't know why it wasn't given this in this game, and it definitely looked like it wasn't checked as well. So I think Chelsea get away with one there, because I do think Crystal Palace were the better team and they could have won it. But Cole Palmer was flat. The whole of Chelsea's attack was flat. I didn't know, but Cole Palmer actually has no open play goal since January. That is a long spell for the Iceman. He's frozen himself. He needs to get back on it if Chelsea are to compete for the league this season. But that whole front line was flat, from Gittins' new signing to João Pedro to Liam Delap coming on. I think he had Chelsea's first shot on target, really, when he came on Delap. And not impressive by Chelsea at all. So flat. But let's be fair, Crystal Palace is a big team. In their past 10 games, they've played Spurs away, Chelsea away, Liverpool away, Man City in the FA Cup final. All these games that I'm talking about, they are undefeated. They beat Man City in the FA Cup final. They beat Liverpool to the Community Shield. It counts as a draw. But they drew against Chelsea now and always beat them. Crystal Palace is not an easy side to play against at all. However, if Chelsea want to win the title, they need to beat these type of teams, especially at home. They need to take these 3 points. But that's your weekend wrapped up. Thank you so much for watching. Please check out my other videos. My review on Liverpool versus Bournemouth was out first. That was a great game. Liverpool won 4-2. My review on the City game as well. My quick thoughts on that impressive City performance against Wolves. Although it was just Wolves, but Rangers looked absolutely fantastic. And Turkey got on the score sheet as well. Haaland looks hungry. City look new. It's going to be a very interesting season. I will be back with more videos throughout the seasons. And for those who watch South African football, my review on Orlando Pirates versus Mamelodi Sundowns 1-1 semi-final MTN 8 is also out. That video is available on my channel. Thank you so much for watching. Please subscribe. Follow me on my other social media platforms. I will see you on the next one. Bye-bye.
Hi guys, this is Itumeleng Kune. I'm with KG Dato. Catch him on YouTube channel. We are football. Please, we are football channel. Sharp.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's match day.
We'll be there. Do you care though? We'll be there.